is no waking from these nightmares!
Those who get in my way tend to regret it. Off you go. fight? And you think you can win?
I've always hated crowds.
I'm tired of your secrets. I knew this was a waste of time.
Truly awful.
Plugs is a great word to describe those two guys. From the highlights I saw of that match.
My God, everyone's texting in now. Don't forget about NASCAR this, three-peat that, Minnetonka High School hockey. Look, this article came from ESPN. They didn't... maybe they should have considered NASCAR, but they're not totally dialed into Minnetonka High School girls hockey, winning 3.
Dana, didn't Eastview three-peat in the South Suburban some year?
Yeah, every year, actually.
Conference. Now we're doing division championships.
The old Lake Conference.
Yeah.
Boy, the Pigs got effing mangled to death in Ottawa Saturday night.
That was rough.
6-0. Pigs got mangled to death in Ottawa Saturday night. Philip Gustafson had 46 saves. That's 52 stinking shots on goal. That's like late 80s college hockey amounts of shots on goal right there. Ottawa was 3 for 8 on the power play. They scored a shorthanded goal and 0 empty net goals, showing that the Senators are a respectful hockey club.
Saturday was not a good day for sports in this town.
No, Golden Gophers lost. Well, the hockey team...
Wolves lost to Washington.
Yeah. That was bad. So, don't look for Ryan Hartman on the ice much in the near future. He was thrown out of the hockey game when he shoved somebody's face into the ice on a face-off in the final minute of the second period. Clearly frustrated by the Senators beating their ass, and he got two-handed across the arm, whatever. Hartman lost his cool at the face-off, slammed a dude's skull into the ice, and word is he's looking at likely a 6-game suspension.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I thought it looked like he tried to kick the puck and then he fell and tried to keep himself up. Jeez, what happened there?
It sounded like your voice went digital.
What the heck happened? Your voice problems are rubbing off on me, Nick.
That was your microphone.
Hey, you in roll.
No, he did not trip on the ice.
No?
No.
That sure looked intentional.
He slammed a guy's face into the ice with 100% pure bad intentions.
Can't do that.
That's up on 93x.com.
Actually, it was really sweet of you to try to look for good intentions there.
Of course, I always do.
He didn't mean to.
Text messages coming in. Minneapolis North Polars basketball 3-peat.
Oh, yeah.
95-6-7.
Khalid El-Amin.
Yeah, he was a great player. Green Bay Packers, they never three-peated unless you want to go back to 1922 or whatever you goofballs do over there.
Yeah, they even made a tweet about it not too long ago. Like, we knew a thing or two about three-peats.
Our great-grandfathers would get off work at the butcher shop and go play professional football. That stuff does not count. It never has counted. Hey, we were national champions in 1876. Doesn't count.
Or leather helmets.
Yeah, none of that counts. It has to be at
That's
least...
crazy to think about how professional athletes used to get part-time jobs in the off-season.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I mean, I remember Harmon Killebrew actually telling me a story one time when I worked for the Twins that he went to work. I mean, he played for the Twins and was this all-star and one of the best players in the sport. And then in the off-season, he went to work at Midwest Federal at the bank. Remember
None
that?
of it counts till 1975.
It's just crazy.
That's when I'll start counting championships. Mankato, here's a guy who played men's league hockey in Mankato. They won 3 straight titles.
By the time the third one was done, those guys were ready to retire.
Yeah, they were old-timers. No Russian kid for the Pigs, as you know. And then, like I mentioned, Hartman will probably get suspended here in the next day or two. According to the Pigs head coach, Gene Snitsky, they're expecting Jonas Brodin and Marcus Johansson back, possibly as soon as tomorrow night. They play at the Boston Bruins tomorrow night. Albert Lee Wrestling.
Can't forget about that.
I don't know. I really do enjoy that. I love folks texting in about,
I wonder if
their glory days. Their glory days.
I wonder if the Iowa wrestling team did it at some point, probably.
Iowegian wrestling, they can wrestle down there.
Yeah.
Harlem Globetrotters have won a few games.
God, holy cow.
Harlem Globetrotters won quite a few consecutive games. But I don't know if I ever, saw any of their championship games.
Anybody mention the 3 years in a row I won a poetry contest statewide?
No.
That's not come up.
Is that writing award that you mention all the time?
Well, I don't mention it all the time, but yeah, I mentioned it not too long ago because it was Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
Day.
It was poetry.
Yeah.
Right, I
for
forgot
Martin
about
Luther King.
Forgot about that. No one's mentioned that yet, but I'm proud of you to
I
this
thought we'd
day.
get some texts on that. Nothing yet.
I'm proud of you to this damn day. Jonathan Quick, I had absolutely no idea he was still playing in the National Hockey League. What is that dude, 50 years old? I think he and I played a game or two against each other in the minors. He won his game yesterday playing for the New York Rangers. They were facing the Las Vegas Paddle Buckets. What the hell is that? Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Jonathan Quick playing goal for the Rangers yesterday. They beat Las Vegas, so now he's the 15th goalie ever to reach 400 wins.
Looks like he's 39.
There's no effing way that guy is 39 years old. He was born in 39, I think. It's a mystery. He's the only American-born goaltender to record that many career wins. Of course, Ryan Miller, longtime Buffalo Sabres goaltender, finished his career at 391 wins. And he played forever. Jonathan Quick, for Christ's sake. I thought he was gone. All the other goaltenders with 400 wins? Why not? I'm going to roll through it. Martin Brodeur, our guy Marc-Andre Fleury, Patrick Waugh, Roberto Luongo, Ed Belfour. Boy, he pissed me off. Night in, night out, he would piss me off back when he was playing for Chicago. Henrik Lundqvist, terrific guitar player, right, Josh?
Oh, yeah. Saw him play Sweet Child of Mine on Jimmy Fallon or something like that.
I thought he was a little sloppy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he did a pretty good job. But if I remember it, wasn't he wearing all his pads and everything? Or maybe I'm just, maybe that's a dream I had.
I thought he came out dressed like a normal human being. Curtis Joseph won 454 games. Terry Sawchuk, Jacques Plante, Tony Esposito. He's gone. His brother's still alive, though. Phil's still alive. Sergei Bobrovsky, wow. He's got over 400 wins. Oh. Glenn Hall, Grant Fuhr. We used to taunt Grant Fuhr when he walked out of Met Center after the North Stars would play the Oilers. We would taunt him because he once got arrested for cocaine possession.
Oh. Bummer.
If I remember correctly, someone better look that up.
All right, so he's wearing his jersey, no pads, when he's playing Sweet Child of Mine.
Hank Lundqvist?
Yeah.
Did Grant Fuhr get arrested once for cocaine?
That sounds right.
Someone look that up. And then imagine you're a 35-year-old man, whatever. You just got done playing a hockey game. You're tired, and you're walking out of the arena to get on the team bus, and a group of 16-year-old kids are screaming in your face about cocaine. I don't know why they didn't just choke us.
Seriously.
Oh, God, I loved hockey back in those days. Just kind of hang out and wait for the number one goalie in the NHL just to walk out of the arena and walk right past you to get on the bus. Just sitting there, a bunch of drunk 16-year-olds screaming in his face about cocaine, and he had to take it.
I did a very quick Google search. The first thing that came up was Fuhr suspension helped pave way for NHL drug policy.
Oh!
Yeah, he's never said that it was cocaine, but he said he was using a substance for 7 years.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy made history. Good for him.
Well, some good came out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Osgood won 400 damn games in the NHL. There's Jonathan Quick. Okay, there you go. Oh, goalies that didn't win 400. Dominic Hasek. Oh, wow. He came awful close. He won 389, but he was around forever as well, and he was so damn good. Mike Vernon, John Van Beesbrook, Andy Moog.
Kevin Gorg, too.
Kevin Gorg, we talked to him last week.
Yeah.
He won 0 games in the NHL. What a friendly, wonderful guy Kevin Gorg was last week.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I like that guy a lot.
Finally, Golden Gopher Dudes hockey handled Wisco fairly easily over the weekend.
I went to the game on Friday night.
You went to the game on Friday night.
Sure did.
How was the crowd, just out of curiosity? Are they drawing?
It was a record.
Yeah, it was packed. Friday night was absolutely packed.
I thought Friday was some kind of record for the new Mariucci.
Yes.
Good deal.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to have a gold out game on Saturday, and it did not look gold in there. Not a lot of people got that memo.
How many people have gold, though?
That's true.
They tried to have a gold out game.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Everyone just
They're already
wears
supposed
gold.
to wear
No,
gold.
but how does it work that everyone is notified of this game?
It was on Twitter. I think they had a couple articles on it, too.
And are you really going to go buy something gold for a hockey game?
No.
That's silly.
It's maroon or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, no.
They couldn't do maroon because of Wisconsin, I think.
Wisconsin doesn't have any maroon in their colors.
They have red.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar.
No, it's not. Totally different.
I can tell the difference.
I bleed red. I don't bleed maroon. You know what I mean? There's a difference there. That gimmick's kind of silly, you know. Everybody wear a green T-shirt. I'm not 5, okay? I'm going to show up wearing whatever the hell I want.
Whatever's in my closet, yeah.
I'm sorry I blew up, but that bit is kind of silly in my opinion. There you go, Brad Ryder.
Okay.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for going it alone. We hope to have Randy back as soon as possible. But until then, we'll just keep her going.
Sounds good. I'll be here.
Buddy. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Coming up next, more here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas. The softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. 1 purchased equals 1 donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
You may look like a bum, but you got a lot of talent.
On 93X.
Welcome back. Welcome back to this here operation, what we call the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. If you look at the time, we've made it all the way up to 8:30. Hope everyone's doing A-OK. Not the best morning to go for a drive. So we hope everyone's hanging in there. I mean, I don't have any idea if the conditions have improved or worsened since 4 a.m., but...
it seems like it's getting a little bit better based off of the traffic maps.
Those plows have been up for a while.
Good luck. Right? What movie?
Is that Taken?
Yeah. Good luck to everybody out there driving. All right, single people. Let's see what you make of this. Single people. There's a matchmaking website based out of Los Angeles, California. And they call themselves 3-Day Rule. They just launched a service that promises to find you the one. If, in fact, you're the type of person who's anxious about such a thing, and I mean, by God, you want to find that one perfect partner, call them up. That's not what you do with websites. Dial them up. No. 3-Day Rule. What's the proper term?
Well, just visit.
Visit the website 3-Day Rule, and they promise they'll find you a perfect partner for the reasonable price of $1 million.
Wow.
Whoa. Just your average guy price there.
Yeah.
There's probably a threshold of where it becomes concerning that you spent a certain amount of money on finding the one.
Whew. Yeah, maybe it's time to look inward.
Like you'd think, wait, you got to spend $1 million? And I understand there's a lot more going on here. They're going to find you the perfect match.
That's what they say.
That's what they're trying to sell you on.
I hope I get my money back if I don't match with someone. Or it doesn't work out.
Well, let's find out here.
Oh, they do a lot. I don't think they'll give you your money.
Let's find out. And it'll explain why that price is so high. I mean, it won't justify why that price is so high, because that's impossible. But the information I'm about to dump on you, it will give you an idea why they're asking so much money. It's called $1 Million Matchmaking. They're only taking 3 clients total. Okay, well, they've got some money to spend, but not that damn much. They're only taking 3 clients total. Wow. Plenty of people are applying. Over 100 is how you say it. Over 100 people applied on day 1 last week. The first day they spit this out on their website and said, we'll find you the perfect partner, give us $1 million, and we'll do it. Over 100 people applied. We have a lot of rich people in this country. So they went for it. It's a 12-month program. So there'll be some kind of a test, I guess, to settle on their 3 clients. They'll sift through these 100-some-odd people, settle on 3. It's a year-long program. And here's what you get for $1 million. You get your own personal dedicated recruiter. They'll fly around the country. I guess after they learn everything about you, and you've given them $1 million, they'll fly all around the country to visit bars, gyms, concerts, and other spots to find you your perfect match. You get unlimited matches with full background checks. That's what your recruiter will do for you.
Don't you think if you have $1 million you can spend on something like this, you're probably not going to need any help finding someone?
You would think so. You would think so. But we, Josh, you and I know one very, 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 very rich person who wasn't having any luck.
Yeah, that's true. Probably use a little help.
Right. You never know. You never know. Okay, so you got your dedicated recruiter. He's traveling, he or she's traveling all around the country, harassing people. Then you pay for a matchmaker, or that money pays for a matchmaker. And they'll help make sure you're paired with the right people, and also plan out your dates in what they call here, quote, minute detail. You do none of the legwork. Okay, I think I understand what that means. Dinner at this time, movie at this time, cocktails at this time. What time you get picked up, she gets picked up. I'm guessing maybe they'll put you in a limousine, but I don't know for sure. So they plan out your date. I've never put much planning into any date. Let's just meet and see where it goes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right. You'll get a dating coach. They'll work with you and your dates on clothes, hair, dating etiquette. Well, not much you can do with my hair, I'll tell you that. And I like my clothes. Look at this.
Brand new clothes, man.
My brand new clothes. But I guess they'll dress you up, give you a new hairdo, teach you about dating etiquette. Ashley, can you think of any dating etiquette? Certain standards you have in mind before you went out on a date? Can a guy have a big chew in his lip? Is that breaking dating etiquette?
No, I don't think so. I guess not off the top of my head. Maybe like certain topics not to bring up right away.
Oh, God forbid. I bet I know one of those topics, and this has always aggravated me. God forbid the man acts like he's ever seen or talked to another woman before in his entire life.
I was thinking of more like serious things. Like, I've heard of horror stories of a man asking about the woman's fertility.
Ah!
Probably not a good idea to do that.
Those are much more serious.
Casual first date material.
How many babies you think you can pump out of there?
Let me check out those hips. Are those birthing hips?
I've always gotten a kick out of the people who say, well, everything was going fine, and then he brought up his ex-girlfriend.
It is a little weird if you do that on the first date.
I see no problem with it.
I guess it depends how much like in detail you go and what it's specifically about. If it's like
sometimes
about the relationship and like you spend like 15 minutes talking about her, I'd be like, all right, dude.
Obviously, that's different. But a lot of people just get irritated by the mere mention of anyone from their past. It's always fascinated me. I've always wondered, what do you think? I just came out the chute yesterday. I've had zero life experience before I met you.
I've never had that experience. I'd probably be screwed because a lot of my, I think I was in long-term relationships. A lot of my stories include the other person.
You had a lot of fun stories involved
Yeah,
there.
especially the good ones.
Just telling a story, that's all I'm doing. But people focus on that. Oh, God, he or she mentioned their ex. Anyway, dating coach will work with you on your, clothes, hair, dating etiquette. If you get engaged less than 6 months after the program ends, you've given them $1 million. They're going to find you your perfect mate. If you get engaged less than 6 months after the program ends, they toss in a 3-carat engagement ring. So they want you to they're encouraging you, I guess, to hurry up and get engaged.
That can be pretty expensive. I looked up how much a 3-carat ring usually costs, and it looks like $18,000, $10,000.
Dude. That's what you get for $1 million from this $1 million matchmaking gimmick from a website called 3 Day Rule.
Oh, geez, I lied. It's more like in the $30,000 range. Holy cow.
For what size ring?
A 3-carat ring. And that's not lab grown. That's a 100% real deal.
For $1 million, though, that's like a drop in the bucket. Drop in the bucket.
I like the way you said that. Say it again.
Drop in the bucket.
Now go like this. Arr, right afterwards.
Drop in the bucket. Arr.
There it is.
That was great.
Arr, me mateys.
Yeah, I don't know why you came off like that, but it was cute. Again, they're only choosing 3 people for this contest or whatever you want to call it. If you want to be involved, they offered this piece of advice. Dress nice for your next flight. Anyone know what that means?
No.
That's good advice.
Okay. Yeah, I wish I knew what they meant by that. But anyway.
I'd be pretty flattered if I was, the person they found, and I found out that somebody spent $1 million to meet me.
I'd feel some pressure.
Yeah.
Like, I really better step it up here and be on my game.
Yeah, you got to put out.
I never ever considered
necessarily thinking that. I'm not
You're probably right, though, Dana. Yeah.
I spent $1 million and you're not putting out.
I never ever considered the other half of the scenario. Wow, that blows my mind. That's
why I was wondering if it would creep you out. Like, wait, somebody spent $1
No, that wouldn't creep me out.
to meet up with me?
I would think that was pretty cool. That I was worth $1 million to
I'd
them.
feel that pressure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's no drop in the bucket or whatever.
Drop in the bucket. Drop in the bucket.
I don't. Ashley, now I can't really even wrap my head around that. I'm approached. I'm hanging out at the bar. I'm a single guy. I'm approached by who am I approached by first? The recruiter, and the recruiter says, "What do you like to do?" This and that. Then the matchmaker calls me and says, "Hey, this individual thinks you're perfect. They spent $1 million. Wow, I would be so flattered."
I would think that I could probably be more like, I guess, risky, like say anything or do anything because they're that desperate.
I'd like
to find love.
I'd like to know how the recruiter approaches people. What do they say?
Right, I don't know.
Like I said, I think the first thing you say is, "Hey, this guy has $1 million, or girl has $1 million to have me go out here and find the perfect person." Then you're intrigued.
I like how they benefit from it too. Oh, I get a free plane ride, then I get to go out to dinners, I get to go to bars on your bill.
You're
trying to
saying
find someone.
You're referring to the recruiter.
Yes.
Is cruising around the world living the rock star lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well,
Going to gyms, concerts.
Yeah.
They'll probably find a love of their own.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm keeping this one for myself.
Oh, good call. Yeah, it's a scam.
the recruiter, don't be fooled. The recruiter's getting some squish on the side.
Oh, yeah.
And saying, "Oh, no, she's no good for you." But really, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it again, someone paid $1 million for all this jibber-jabber and considers me the perfect match for them. I would be flattered, and also I'm thinking, if this sumbitch has got $1 million to spend just to meet me, I gotta marry this person because I'm living the rock star lifestyle the rest of my friggin' life.
Well, yeah, to my point, like if you know they got $1 million to spend on something like that, they probably have a ton of money, and that's going to attract some people right there. They shouldn't really have as much trouble. But I think this might be worth it if you could have somebody kind of go through all the minute details of your entire life and plan out everything where you don't have to worry about it. That'd be kind of cool. Just make no decisions whatsoever on how your day goes?
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then if all of this works out, you've spent $1 million. You've spent $1 million. And what do you get? A husband or a wife. I don't consider that a fair trade. I don't consider that a fair trade at all. Congrats. You win?
People are mentioning how you did have the $1 million wife.
Yeah.
You had that lifestyle. So you'd be okay, obviously ending a relationship if it wasn't right.
Yeah.
Even with that money.
Yeah, but I'm saying I would take great advantage of it. I'm not saying that it would be locked in and forever we would live happily. I'm just saying to know that someone spent $1 million. I'll tell you what, my ex-wife certainly didn't spend $1 million to meet me. She was an intern at the radio station. Hint, hint to all the interns here. But I'm just saying, that means there's a lot more money where that came from. And we're going to have some friggin' fun.
Unlucky in Wisco, Jesus said, the problem I see with them planning everything is what happens when the partner wants you to plan it and you can't.
Oh, they still want that kind of treatment that they got when you were using somebody to do all that nonsense for you.
Oh.
Well, because I was wondering this myself, like, that sometimes that's a test for people, right? What you plan out for a special occasion or how much you thought about the date. And so if you take that out where somebody's making the plans for you, maybe the person that you're dating wants you to come up with it, not somebody else to come up with it.
Yeah, that is a big deal to a lot of women because
you're probably stuck.
Yeah, it shows that you care if you take the time to do that kind of thing.
There you go. Hell of a deal. If you single rich people are interested, again, the website is something or another. I threw it away. What's the website?
3dayrule.com.
3-Day Rule.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
We're awful close to shutting this operation down till tomorrow. Hope you join us tomorrow. We were talking about a dating website has a deal going. If you spend $1 million, I know it sounds ridiculous, beyond ridiculous. If you spend $1 million, they will land your perfect match. They do all the legwork. I mean, by damn, they find the perfect person for you. They plan wonderful, fancy schmancy dates. They'll give you new clothes. They'll fix your hairdo, everything. Till the two of you are just absolutely perfect, the most beautiful couple that ever lived. Even if you get engaged quickly, they'll even toss in an expensive engagement ring. $1 million. If you're just absolutely dying for that perfect match to live happily ever after with. But, it's an interesting idea. But like I was saying a few minutes ago, then after spending $1 million, then you become just another married sucker.
Yeah, and think about your story. Well, how'd you meet? You have kids. How'd you guys meet? Well, I paid $1 million.
Is that why we don't have money?
That's why you're not going to college.
Yeah.
Hey, your kids would be like, wait a minute, you bought what for $1 million? A racehorse? No, your mother. So, let's move on to the future for this perfect couple with the $1 million deal. They'll just be like every other married sucker. Sure, it sounds like they'll have a few bucks to spend. But tell me if you go along with any of these. Once you get married, you settle in. Here are some things that every couple that has been together for a while has done together. And as I was looking over the list earlier, I don't think my wife and I fall into line with many of these, but according to the subject, these are things that every couple that has been together for a while has done together. I'm going to mark this one off as, yeah. We've used the other as an excuse not to do something or go somewhere. Oh, that's nice.
That's the best.
Use the other as an excuse to not do something or go somewhere. Yes, she's not feeling well. He's not feeling well. He's not home yet. We only got one car. Whatever route you want to take. Cubby, use the other as an excuse not to do something or go somewhere. You've used every excuse at this point.
No, I can't think of an example, but I'm sure I have.
Yeah, you can't think that you've ever said, well, the wife is pregnant. We can't go to the...
I'm sure I have, but yet nothing comes to mind.
They're expecting a kid, so what happened?
I always have told my fiance he can tell people I have a headache whenever he wants to.
That was the worst part about getting divorced is I no longer had that card to play. The wife's family's in town. I can't make it. Sorry, dude.
I have a friend who I think he had a kid just to get out of stuff. I'm not even exaggerating. I really think that was his excuse, just to not have to say yes to anything.
This one throws me. Something that every couple has done. If they've been together for a while, they've done this together. Non-sexy showers? What the hell's the point of showering with your significant other if things aren't going to get fresh?
Time crunch? I've taken just like regular non-sexy showers that don't lead to anything.
That's what they mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you were running late and the water was running, I'm going to dive in there right after you're done kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Don't you have to kind of go, all right, you get a second under the water, I get a second, or do you have more than one shower head?
It's mostly just I'm going to be under the shower head and you can just figure it out in the corner over there.
No,
Gotcha.
We've never had to do that. We've never had to dive into the same shower together for any emergency type reason. I will not do this. I'm not going to bring anyone a roll of toilet paper while they're sitting on the toilet. I don't care if you're my wife, my best friend, my mom, or dad. You're going to use your hand before I walk into the toilet while you're taking a dump.
What about just throwing it in like a frag grenade or something?
Exactly.
Just open the door and chuck it in.
Okay.
Fire in the hole!
I've done that before.
I did not picture that, Josh. That I would go through. I was picturing someone strolling straight in and
handing it off.
Yes, that's what I was picturing.
John Elway Hail Mary from down the hall.
I've asked my fiance quite a lot of times to bring me toilet paper, but I'm never going. It's always I'm just peeing.
Yeah, number one.
Yeah, I'm like, I forgot. Or as I'm sitting down, I'm like, he'll come and bring me some. I don't have to worry.
Well, here's the good news for me. My personal situation, with my OCD problems, I always make sure there's 5 or 6 rolls of ass wipe in every bathroom.
Smart.
Had a whisper fight in a public place. No, we've never had a whisper fight.
No.
Oh, that's so uncomfortable to watch, though, when you see it happening from afar.
Oh, I love watching that. I'm like, are they going to get loud?
We've never had a whisper fight.
I don't think I've ever had a whisper fight with anybody.
No, I guess if she and I are going to cut loose in public, we're going to cut loose. It's everybody. Now we're gonna make our problem everybody else's problem.
Heck yeah.
This sounds like something for young people. Exchanged a knowing glance in public.
I love doing that.
Maybe when I was young.
Or you see something and you look at each other with that look like, we're going to talk about this later.
Wait a minute.
Did you just see that?
I was taking it as sexual.
Oh, no. I didn't take it that way.
I shouldn't take it as sexual?
I kind of took it the same way Ashley did.
Yeah, I kind of took it as we kind of give each other the same look, like, all right, it's time to get out of here.
Oh. Okay.
I forgot about that one.
I guess there's all kinds of different knowing glances. Now, what you were referencing, Ashley, is kind of look at that weirdo in the corner of the bar?
Yeah.
Okay, my wife and I have definitely shared that knowing glance. But we don't give each other the let's get out of here look. And we certainly don't give each other, any kind of sexual faces in public.
That'd be creepy to see.
No, I mean, we're in our 50s, for Christ's sake. Spent the night in the bathroom beside each other because one of you is sick.
Oh, yeah. My wife, that was one of the times I knew that she was the one for me. I had food poisoning, and she laid next to me on the bathroom floor as I filled the bathtub with my own vomit.
Yeah,
and somebody else's. After a while, I ran out.
Yeah, you had to borrow some?
And you were okay with her laying next to you on the cold bathroom floor surrounded by diarrhea and vomit?
Well, I kept telling her, you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that was one of the most miserable I've ever been.
Neither my wife or I.
Moment.
What's that?
Outside of this very moment.
You're not having a good time right now?
I'm vomiting over and over and over again.
My wife and I would never do that for each other.
Even back when you first started, when you first knew each other and first started dating?
No, neither of us would be comfortable with that. She wouldn't be comfortable with me anywhere near her when she's sick and vice versa.
You know the difference? My wife is gross. Yours is not.
Well, from the stories that you've told, she is not afraid of anything that the majority of us would consider absolutely repulsive. She's almost drawn to gross.
She's I think, born to be a caregiver of some sort.
But do you think she's weirdly drawn to gross stuff?
No, she's not drawn to it. She'll just, if the need arises, she'll be there for you.
Okay. She's a wonderful lady. And finally, this is just silly. I don't think that this is something that every couple that has been together for a while has done together. Poked each other in the butthole while one is walking up the stairs in front of the other?
I guess maybe not like in the butthole, but definitely like the butt.
Yeah.
If my fiance is behind me, I have to run up those stairs. He's gonna touch my butt one way or the other.
If there's any butthole
touching is different from poking.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, touching is
mean.
different than poking.
I don't want my wife checking my oil on the way up.
Surprise.
That's my job, Josh.
Makes you go a little faster up the steps.
If there's any third input penetration happening in our household, it's in the bedroom.
No, thank you.
Fine, more for the rest of us.
No, you guys can have it.
Oh, man.
Well, I hope that little last segment was a great 40th birthday to window installer Brandon. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Calvin from Uncle Brian and Aunt Ashley. Drive safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
93X.
Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us. We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com. Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us. We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Yeah, the final.
Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us. We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Rolling. We're rolling. Smooth into a Tuesday broadcast. Welcome to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Oh, man. We got this going on. We got that going on. First off, I got to ask you folks about something I saw yesterday on the evil, soulless internet. And bear with me. Yesterday, my voice seemed to warm up the more I used it. Maybe we'll get a similar reaction today. Maybe I'll completely shut down. I still feel relatively normal, but I got this thing going on. Let me ask you about something I saw on the evil, godless internet, where I looked at it. There was even an article explaining what I was looking at, and I still can't believe it's true. So, the Grammys cut loose a night or two ago.
That happened.
A program that hands out awards for popular music. A program I haven't watched since I was probably 12. I think the last time I watched the Grammys, the award for Best New Artist was handed out to Men at Work. Do you recall Men at Work, Josh?
Just heard him yesterday, as a matter of fact, on my way home from work.
Was it Down Under?
It was Down Under.
See, that's a shame. It really is. Because they never play Be Good Johnny. They never play... they had a couple others that I really like. Now I can't think of the titles. Anyway, I'll get back to Men at Work. Haven't watched a Grammy since I was 12 years old. And I missed it the other night as well, but what I saw on the internet. So at the Grammys... You know how the big shot famous people walk what they call the red carpet?
Yep.
On their way into the show. So here's my question. That Kanye West guy, did he really walk the red carpet with his wife, who was 100% ass naked?
She had like a sheer cover, but it wasn't covering anything. It was just like this, basically like see-through. It's like if you put saran wrap on.
She sure looked naked.
Okay, can you find a picture, Ashley?
Yeah, absolutely.
So a picture of exactly what we were looking at that red carpet, because the pictures that I saw, maybe it was, what do they call it in the business, Josh?
Are you trying to say Photoshop?
Yeah, maybe it was Photoshopped.
They weren't.
No, definitely.
No. Yeah, I mean, she
No. What I mean is maybe they Photoshopped whatever cover she had on. Maybe this website removed it completely.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's not really a cover, but there's a little bit of something very small there.
Okay, she's
yeah. That happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
The photo that Ashley's showing me right now, that's what I saw yesterday. What I did not notice, and it's understandable why I didn't notice, was below her vagina. If it's okay that I call it that.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
You can see what is the bottom of this sheer outfit, this sheer dress.
Yeah.
So, it really happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
What in God's name was that all about?
I don't know. A lot of people have like sad conspiracy theories
I don't want to hear. No. I don't want to hear one of those.
It's not the best explanation.
I should have considered that immediately. There'd be 13 different bizarre conspiracy theories.
If my wife had this, it'd be my favorite outfit of hers by far. But I'd be a little embarrassed to leave the house with her wearing it.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to doing anything you can to get attention, anything you can to get folks talking about you, at least in the world of popular music, they've now reached a point of no return.
Yep.
Well, was it one of the Smiths where he wore like a Minecraft helmet or whatever? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, Will Smith's son.
That's who it was?
Jaden, yep. It was like a
house with his face cut out. I got to look at it again.
Yeah, it's like a big black castle, and then where the door would be, there's a hole for his face.
Yeah.
This is Will.
His face would be like the drawbridge to the house.
Who is that? Will Smith's son. Okay.
We'll have to smack him for that.
You know what? Yeah, Will Smith probably crack him in the jaw for that. Show up with a house on your head. Folks are going to go, okay, that's a little out of the ordinary. This gal just straight up walked in a public forum just ass naked.
It was dramatic, too. She had like a big fur coat over it.
Oh, is that right?
And then she turned her back to the paparazzi and then dropped her coat.
Are her parents still alive?
Good question. I haven't heard her talk ever.
Yeah, do we know who she is? Who is she?
This is the first time I'd ever heard of her.
Oh, really? I've heard of her before. She's done some weird stuff before, too.
Well, wait a minute. You've heard of her as if... You've heard of her in a sense that she is famous in her own right for something, for singing or dance? No, you've just heard of her because she's Kanye wife's weird wife.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, like what? What kind of things have you heard?
Oh, just like other outfits she's worn.
Yeah, she gets more and more naked.
Yeah.
So this is her thing.
Yeah.
I'll try anything twice, Jesus. He works in HVAC, and he wears the same outfit at work. That's his uniform.
There's a photo going around of a kid that maybe 10 years old, and he's at the Grammys too, and he's like, while she's posing for the paparazzi, the kid is peeking around a wall to like get a look at her. Like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Josh, if you are her parents, are you immediately on the line with a handful of psychiatrists?
Yeah, I think there's something there. That's a cry for help.
That is, I mean, you just got to be mental.
Might also been kind of how she was raised, too.
Raised to walk
How
around
she
like a
was
moron?
raised?
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe she got some weird-ass parents, too.
Her name
I
is
suppose.
Bianca Sensory. I don't know
matter.
exactly how to say it out loud, but she's an Australian model.
Okay,
I
great.
can see why she's a model.
Yeah, her body is banging.
It is banging. It's thumping.
Her
It
friggin',
Fs.
Josh, her friggin' naked vagina, just gear swinging right there.
Yeah.
Right there. For anybody who was on the street, anybody who was, that absolutely destroys my brain to think that it's come to this. It's come to this now.
I wonder what's the over-under on eye rolls from attendees there?
Oh, my God.
I bet there's so many like, okay, we get it. You're the naked lady.
That is so beyond anything I ever imagined possible. The rest of you is wearing suits and ties. No, I'm just going to be absolutely naked.
But I'm going to make sure to drop my coat in front of the paparazzi.
No wonder
everyone's going to see it, like Ashley said.
No wonder the rest of the world just despises us. Who do we think we are?
Even the coat was stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, people would be commenting on the coat even if she didn't have the nothing on underneath. It looked like she was wearing a bear.
Around the world, they're saying Americans, the type of people that walk into a public place naked. Who the hell do they think they are?
It is interesting how none of us regular folks would ever be able to walk around
we'd
like
be
that.
arrested.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, of course we couldn't. Okay, just out of curiosity. Okay, thank you for clearing that up, by the way, because I just thought, okay, this has got to be a joke. This has got to be a website that's just straight up lying to people for clicks. So thank you. It really happened. A grown woman showed up in a public place to be noticed by getting absolutely ass naked. That gal is gorgeous, without a doubt. She could have gotten everyone's attention in a bikini. She could have gotten everyone's attention. That just blows my mind. So, just out of curiosity, Ashley, you said there's a bunch of conspiracy theories around why Kanye. Is there one that you can share with us that isn't going to get everyone wetting their pants? Is there one? Now, because I'm just curious. One conspiracy theory that you heard as to how or why this happened.
I guess one of the main one is that Kanye West wants her to dress like that because he wants her to get attention so that he has all the attention as well.
Oh, well, that's not a conspiracy theory. That sounds like reason.
Yeah.
A few people have texted in saying that, there's people who speculate he's controlling her. So kind of like along the lines of what you're saying, that she's looking at him like, okay, what do I do now? What would you like me to do? Hey, Dinah Cop, Jesus. I'll tell you what, if you're going to get pulled over today, get pulled over in a Dinah, because he's decided, he's on his way to work right now, and he's decided he might just wear his duty belt and nothing else.
Oh, now we're talking.
Whoa.
It's just unbelievable. It's so hilarious that this is where we're at.
It's also super weird that she has like almost the same body type as Kim Kardashian, his ex-wife. And so that's what really weirds people out too, is he found like almost a clone.
Well,
that's what I was kind of wondering, why he had her do it, just to get more publicity than Kim Kardashian, because she was massive when they were together.
So
she's a huge star for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, once you go Kardashian, it sticks with you for life. So you guys think Kanye West picked this lady out because she looks like his ex? You said Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, a lot of like.
Then you got that basketball player, Lamar Odom, who can't get over breaking up with, is it Khloe Kardashian?
Yep.
Nailed it.
We read, a month ago or so that he was shopping for sex dolls to be shaped and molded to look exactly like Khloe Kardashian. Apparently, once you get a dose of that, you can't get enough and you need it. Even in how should I say this, Josh? Even in like an imitation form. I can't think of the words. That is off the charts hilarious.
And people are defending Americans, saying, "Hey, she's Australian. Don't lump us in with her."
Oh, is she really? Okay, we're not going to claim her. What was the Men at Work song you heard again, Josh, the other day? Was it Down Under?
Down Under, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame because It's a Mistake, Overkill, much better songs than Down Under. Back to Men at Work winning the 1982 Grammy for Best New Artist. Be Good Johnny. They have so many better songs than Down Under. Here's something, Josh, you and I could spend all day with on the topic of music. A website called Ultimate Classic Rock claims to have nailed down the top 15 hair metal frontmen of all time. The top 15 hair metal frontmen of all time. And so we got to be nitpicky here because they're talking hair metal as opposed to heavy metal. So don't expect to hear anything about James Hetfield or Dave Mustaine or Bruce Dickinson or Ozzy Osbourne or Rob Halford. They're talking the prettier stuff. What'd you make of the 15, Josh? Let me read it off to folks, and I'd love to get your take.
Well, I thought there was one glare. Oh, you know what? I take that back. At first, I didn't see the name, but the name is on there.
Well, fill me in on what you're talking about. From 15 to 1. Number 15 is Don Dokken from Dokken. I'm not in favor of Don being in the top 15. I love Dokken's music, but he was never much of a front man. Great singing voice when he was young. Great singing voice. But never appeared to be completely comfortable on stage. As a matter of fact, I always thought Don was quite awkward on stage. So I have an issue with Don Dokken being in the top 15. Again, with all due respect to the couple of great records they made when I was a kid. We got any thoughts on that, Don? What, your name is Josh? Not
I
Don.
don't know that he wouldn't come to mind.
You know what Don Dokken always did on stage for years that drove me crazy? He's the front man of this, at least in the mid to late 80s, he was the front man of this world-renowned hard rock band. And you know what he would do on stage? He would air drum. Look it up. Watch Dokken concerts.
What a dork.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty awkward.
He would air drum. You got a world-class drummer behind you, Mick Brown. He doesn't need you imitating why are you air drumming? Is this a 7th grade variety show? Number 14, Jack Blades from Night Ranger. I'm very happy to see Jack Blades make that list. Night Ranger is so wildly underrated.
I don't know why they get made fun of. I can't remember the show. I was watching a show the other day, and they were making fun of Night Ranger.
You know what you have to do? You have to see him live.
Oh, that's one that I want to see him so bad.
That's
on my list.
Of course, You Can Still Rock in America. Sing Me Away is one of the most beautiful rock songs. Sister Christian, what am I missing? Don't Tell Me You Love Me. When I was a kid, I liked these songs. I liked them. But I never had any kind of a funny feeling to go see them live. To me, they were a little too pop, right? And then I saw them live, and it absolutely changed everything that I thought of Night Ranger. They are absolutely terrific still to this day. Number 13 on this top 15 list of the best hair metal, specifically frontmen from UltimateClassicRock.com. Number 13 is Janie Lane from Warrant.
I was surprised he didn't finish higher on that list. What a wonderful voice. And when you think hair metal, I mean, Warrant would be one of the top bands most people would probably come up with.
Right. Janie had a great voice and was a funny, fun frontman to see live. And they had a couple keepers, Old Log Cabin.
I mean, especially with who's right ahead of them, not to, diss anybody, but Janie Lane to me says more that era.
And I'm kidding, of course. I know it's Uncle Tom's Cabin, but I grew up with a kid who couldn't get it right. And every time the video would come on TV, he'd say, I like this one, Old Log Cabin. No, dude, it's Uncle Tom. That's a great song. Uncle Tom's Cabin is a great song from their silly Cherry Pie record. Actually, the Cherry Pie record isn't bad. But I once went to go see a Warrant show, and when it was over, a dude with me said, they should just play Uncle Tom's Cabin 15 times and then call it a night.
That is a great song.
Number 12 on the list is Kevin Dubrow from Quiet Riot.
His eyes scare me a little.
Yeah, he did that on purpose. Kevin Dubrow, okay, you got to give him some points for, I guess, setting the standard, because Quiet Riot was the first hard rock, hair metal, whatever you want to call it. They were the first band to really sell records to the point where their record, Metal Health, was number one. I guess that's what they're known for. They were the first hard rock heavy metal band to have their record go number one. Kevin Dubrow was kind of odd on stage. I thought he was kind of odd and awkward looking as well.
Yeah, he's definitely a weird looking dude.
He could scream. 11, Stephen Pearcy from Rat. I never thought Stephen was much of a showman, but they had their time, no doubt. Interesting that we're talking about Stephen Pearcy. You forget, if you're an old school rocker like Josh and myself, you forget how big of a single Round and Round was.
If there's an active rock station out today, that's the Rat song they play.
Yeah, of course, I've been burned out on it now for 40 years.
Yeah, me too.
But Round and Round was such a huge single, and that was 1984. That was very rare for a hard rock single to climb as high in the charts as it did. Number 10, one of my favorites of all time, underrated, and that's Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
I never knew that he did makeup on his face. I like that.
They had the makeup thing going. And
there's so much to like about Dee Snider.
It was quite ridiculous. Absolutely, Josh. He was born to be a hard rock frontman, and very few have done it better than Dee Snider. So much energy, so much personality. Could sing his effing balls off. Love Dee.
And I know some people think the band's a little silly. Maybe the name has something to do with it or their look. But that guy, he's one of the brightest guys in rock. Super funny. Seems like a nice guy.
I bumped into him at an airport once, and I can confirm he's the nicest dude ever. Just was so kind and so nice, chatting with people, very funny, very kind.
We talked to him a couple times, and he was very cordial, good interview. Obviously, he does radio. He knows how to talk. He's great.
Also, one thing I always liked about Dee is he wasn't afraid to go after anybody, but specifically, if there was someone in the crowd that he didn't like, he let him know.
That's awesome.
I don't know how many Twisted Sister shows I've been to where Dee was like, 99% of you are having a great time except for this idiot in the third row. What's your problem, Jagoff? And the crowd would just have a great time with it. Number 9 on the top 15. Ultimate, hair metal frontman. Number 9 is David Coverdale, legendary.
Well, one of my all-time favorites. He's the guy that we've mentioned before. We had him in studio. Both of us couldn't form a sentence. We were so enthralled with him. Not only his voice, just what he's done for music and how gorgeous he is in person.
Gorgeous.
So terrific on stage, so funny. Again, personality, performance, a great singer when he was young. This article kind of nitpicks at David Coverdale being on the list, saying, well, he came from the 70s and Deep Purple and all that. Well, so what? Whitesnake was absolutely a massive part of the popular hair metal movement. The Still of the Night and Here I Go Again videos, that was so massive. It went mainstream.
Well, and watch a documentary on hair metal where that video, the Here I Go Again video, isn't referenced, right?
And you can't bump David Coverdale out of this list just because he made some bluesy songs with Whitesnake, with Deep Purple. Number 8, Vince Neil. And when he was young, yes, I know, go ahead and text in your jokes because of the obvious. But Vince Neil had something cooking in the early 80s. There's no doubt about it. Things change. You get old, you get drunk, you get hooked on drugs. You can't sing anymore. But the crew had something there, and Vince was a big part of it. You know how I said a few minutes ago, sorry, had to take a drinky. Don Dokken on stage, what drove me nuts was that he would air drum, which I thought was so silly. Vince Neil, find me audio of a Motley Crue concert from the 80s or early 90s where Vince doesn't repeatedly say the word tonight. Speaking of little quirks that people have that drove me nuts, everything was tonight. one to fall in love for you tonight. Tommy Lee on the drums tonight.
And every night.
That's not a new thing.
7, Bret Michaels from Poison. Nice guy. And they had their time.
Well, he's another guy where if somebody who doesn't like hair metal or real young, name a couple hair metal singers, his name's going to come up for sure.
And he was a good showman. He was. Number 6, John Bon Jovi from the Bon Jovis. Yeah, absolutely. Sebastian Bach from Skid Row.
That's the one I missed at first, and he's one of my all-time favorites.
What do you mean you missed it?
I missed it on the list. I thought they left him out.
Oh.
I was when I scanned the list, I missed him.
Yeah, kind of a dick, but great front man.
The thing I like about him, though, many things, but is that he knows he's a dick.
Yeah.
He knows it, and you can tell he, in a way, feels bad about it, but he's just enough of a dick where he doesn't feel bad enough about it.
Just beautiful hair.
Who out there thinks that Sebastian Bach is a dick tonight? Number 4, Joe Elliott, Def Leppard. I got no problems with that. 3, Sammy Hagar. Sure, Sammy was terrific with Van Halen. I wasn't a big Van Hagar fan at first. I hated it. But I grew to really like it. Really, maybe even love it.
Me too. I feel the exact same way.
Number 2, David Lee Roth.
To me, he would have been number 1.
Dave is a god.
I think he's probably the best front man of all time.
He should have been number 1. Number 1 is Axl Rose. And yeah, when Guns N' Roses were young, yes, we all know the story, and Axl was terrific. But there's no way anyone tops Roth when it comes to everything that makes for a great front man. DLR should have been number 1. But that's enjoyable for me. And Josh, where's Paul Stanley? I suppose maybe they said, okay, they're from the 70s. They weren't part of the hair metal movement. Okay,
yeah.
Fine, I'll go along with that. Paul Stanley, terrific for so many years, so many friggin' years. Anyone else you think they're missing in here? What's your name again, Josh?
All those were the ones that came to mind right away, and it's killing me. I'm sure we're missing an obvious one. I've been monitoring texts here. Nobody's texted in one yet that they thought should have been on there. But that's a pretty good list. I mean, I would have changed the order on a couple maybe, but...
They covered a little bit of everything. They did.
Certainly David Lee Roth should have been number 1, maybe by a landslide.
Yeah, let me look real quick to see if they're missing anybody. Got to be somebody. Okay. We can't do Alice Cooper.
Oh, it's his birthday today, by the way.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that Alice Cooper was left off because, for Christ's sake, he started in the music business in 1966 or something like that. Oh! There's one that's missing. I knew it. I had to look up some, I just had to look at some names to spark my dying brain. You know who they're missing? It's a big one. Tom Kiefer. That went nowhere.
I'm just trying to think if I really considered them hair metal.
Yeah.
They just were, to me, they were more bluesy,
Well, yeah, but they were lumped in. I mean, look at their appearance on their first record.
They look like it. Yeah, they look the part.
Tom Kiefer deserves to be in this list. There are very few guys who puts forth what Kiefer does on stage night in, night out. That's one that I would go with. Thank God Gary Sharon didn't make it in here. I'd lose my temper.
Yeah, that wouldn't come to mind.
What about Jesse James Dupree?
Yeah, that's another band I just don't consider.
No. I'm joking.
Oh, Kip Winger.
Oh,
that should have been on this list.
Kiefer and Winger should be on this list.
That's a great one.
Who are we going to bump? We're going to bump Dubrow.
Yeah, yep.
And we're going to bump Don Dokken.
Yeah.
Put in Kiefer and friggin' Kip Winger. Thank you. See, I knew there was a couple.
That is an awesome answer.
I knew there was a couple we weren't thinking of.
Again, so somebody's saying Jeff Tate, but I don't consider they're too
progressive.
Yeah, they're too intelligent. I mean, and I love hair metal, but they're different.
Don't be mad. Trust me, I consider Jeff Tate. From Queensryche if you're totally lost. Don't be mad that Jeff Tate didn't make it because I think they kept him off just because they thought Queensryche was a different genre.
I think so, too. It's like you couldn't put James LaBrie from Dream Theater on there. I mean, they had a hair metal popularity at one point, but that's a different thing.
Love it. All right, we got to get going for real around here. Tuesday morning. We'll talk to Brad Ryder a little bit later. Randy Shaver, I think, again, will have today off, but we'll see what happens. You just thought of somebody?
No, this is from, who's this from? Sheet Metal Jesus. Mike Tramp. I mean, he's beautiful.
I loved Mike Tramp, I did, but I don't think he makes the top 15.
Yeah, it'd be tough to find somebody else to kick off this list.
Right.
But that is a great answer.
Mike friggin' Tramp. Man, I'll never forget going up to Cross Lake. This has got to be, how old am I now? This is 20 years ago or more. 20 years ago. And a buddy of mine calls and says, Mike Tramp from White Lion is playing Cross Lake, which wasn't a massive shock at that point. That genre of musicians were playing bowling alleys and whatever they could do to make a few bucks. I mean, hair metal had become so uncool. So it wasn't shocking that he was playing some little club, basically just a bar in Cross Lake. So we went up there. And my buddy and I were the first two people in the bar. Ordered a couple beers, and soon band gear starts being moved into the bar. Kick drum, cymbals, snare drum, couple of guitar cases, couple of amps. And I said to my buddy, I said, wow, this roadie is getting his ass whooped. He's the only one. We noticed there was just one guy moving all this gear in, piece by piece. And I thought, where's the rest of the friggin' roadies? This poor bastard. And then we realized it was not a roadie. It was Mike Tramp.
Oh,
no.
bringing in his own stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Has to get there early, too, to get everything in.
Me and my buddies were customers 1 and 2 out of a grand total, I'm not exaggerating, out of a grand total of maybe 15 people who showed up.
That's crazy.
That's got to be
That just gave me the
heartbreaking.
chills. That makes me mad. I wish I was around.
It was effing crazy.
All right, everybody, be cool. The big boss is listening, and he's checked in on the topic.
Okay.
He says Vince Neil ahead of David Coverdale. No friggin' way. To me, David Coverdale is incredible. So I'd put him above in that list, but I understand the methodology here. Where, somebody is probably most people would probably put Vince Neil ahead. That just don't really. That wasn't their passion.
Yeah, they're thinking Motley Crue was on a higher level than Whitesnake, and they were. They were, as far as popularity goes. I love that the big boss texted in. You know, our smaller boss around here, he only knows how to talk Pearl Jam.
That's his favorite artist.
It's fun when we got a guy in the building that can actually talk trash with us.
I like how his passion and how he phrased that.
Dig you, Marv.
Yeah, you're the man.
We will take a break. Be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
YouTube personality Betty Johnson has cracked the code on a new era of newsmaking.
Very controversial, very strong opinions. A person who speaks truth fearlessly, breaking for nobody.
It's a new cultural landscape.
We're not trying to politicize this. People are primed now, and forgive me, dude, it is what it is. Here's what's going on in your country, bro.
The Benny Show.
Get ready if this is something that you needed to put a little pep in your step. No? Yeah? Okay.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
How many steps does it take to cure blood cancer? We won't know until it happens, but when you register for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Big Climb, you can help get us closer. It's your time to join communities nationwide, to climb iconic buildings and arenas all over the country, to give patients, survivors, and families the support they need at every step of a diagnosis. Go to LLS.org and sign up now. You can also join our nationwide virtual climb from anywhere and show up for blood cancer patients. Go to LLS.org. That's LLS.org.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
right, before we bend over the stupid news here, let's get back to this. We were talking the top 15 hair metal frontmen of all time. This was a list put together by ClassicRock.com or something like that. Top 15 hair metal frontmen of all time. And I'm having to read this back to you through my garbage can because I already threw the list into the garbage. From 15 to 1, it went Don Dokken, Jack Blades, Janie Lane, Kevin DuBrow, Stephen Pearcy, Dee Snider, David Coverdale, Vince Neil, Bret Michaels, John Bon Jovi, Sebastian Bach, Joe Elliott, Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth, and W. Axl Rose. That's the list they came up with. Cubby and I went back and forth on it. A lot of you are texting in. Now, again, keep in mind, they're being very specific about this with the list. Hair metal frontmen. That's why you don't have James Hetfield, Dave Mustaine, Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson, Ronnie James Dio, Brian Johnson, people like that. So if you're texting in about those types of folks, they were a little too hard for a hair metal list. Josh and I added Mike Tramp. We added Kip Winger. We added Tom Kiefer to the list because we thought they were missing. Here are some other, what's the word I'm looking for? Examples or suggestions. Thank you, Josh, from our listening audience. Michael Sweet from Stryper. Dude certainly played hair metal, and that sumbitch could sing about Jesus Christ.
I love that band so much.
Jeff Keith from Tesla. That's a good one. Jeff Keith, terrific voice. And they had some great tunes back in the hair metal days. Mark Slaughter. That's my thoughts on Mark Slaughter. They had a couple of catchy tunes, but what drove me crazy about Mark Slaughter is he certainly could sing. The problem was he never let you forget it for longer than 5 seconds.
I feel the same way.
We
get it. You've got quite the range.
My God. The first time I saw them in concert, I was 18 years old, and I wanted them to turn it down. Because he just never let you forget that he could scream. Blackie Lawless, probably a little too hardcore for the hair metal list. Mike Reno. Mike Reno. Okay, Klaus Meine, yes. Klaus is not in there because they're too classic, pure, what do you want to call it, rock. They weren't exactly hair metal. A lot of folks have texted in about Klaus. But Mike Reno from Loverboy, I love that guy. One of the purest voices in rock history. If you haven't heard Loverboy in their heyday perform Turn Me Loose, if you haven't heard that live and heard what Mike Reno can do with that song, I'm sorry to tell you, you've never heard a live song. If you haven't heard Turn Me Loose live, you've never heard a live song.
I just watched a couple of concerts of theirs not too long ago on YouTube.
And also, before we get to the stupid news, we had a conversation about that ridiculous display from Kanye West and his wife at the Grammys over the weekend, where his wife walked the red carpet, public setting, everyone else is dressed. She showed up basically 100% ass naked. Vag hanging, everything, right? Kanye West's wife. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We're trying to figure out, aside from the obvious, why. The obvious answer is attention, of course. But a listener texted in this. They got some inside information, Josh. They say Kanye West's wife finished last in her fantasy football league.
Oh, it was a punishment. That actually would be a good punishment if somebody wants to borrow that. Make that same outfit.
Or it's like most fantasy football players do not.
They would be batoned and arrested immediately.
Well, yeah, because they don't have the same celebrity protections as this lady does.
Right. Udo Dirkschneider. What band?
Boy, I have no idea.
Accept.
Oh.
No.
We used to play back when we were X105, when 93X became 93X, X105. We used to play balls to the wall all the time.
Balls to the wall. You got your balls to the wall, man.
There was not an overnight shift I worked where that song wouldn't be played. We played that all the time. That and Man in the Box. So I think those were the two most played songs in the overnight back then.
A listener texted in and said, Udo Dirkschneider. All right, stupid news. We think we know cold here in Minnesota. We do. But I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you right now, there's no wind chill around here that could ever match the straight-up sheets of ice coming off this here gal from India. She's cold. She's been accused of tricking her husband into selling his kidney on the black market. Yes. Yes, she said. You will sell your kidney.
You can good value on those these days.
How much you want for yours?
$50 Buffalo Wild Wings gift card.
I bet your kidney is mostly Buffalo.
Family needed money. They needed that money to help pay for their daughter's education. What, you're not man enough? You're not man enough to give up your kidney for your own daughter, she said. But that wasn't the real reason she wanted that husband kidney money. Here's the deal. Button up now. It's going to get chilly in here. This lady spent months trying to convince her husband to cough up and then sell one of his kidneys on the black market. Not only did she say that the money would help their gal, once she decides to get married, a little, what do they call it, Josh? A little nest egg. Get your daughter through school. We need the money. Get your daughter through school, and then there'll be a little bit left over for when she wants to get married. Oh, she turned the screws on the old man. She did. He didn't want to do it. Of course he didn't want to do it. But the constant guilt trips caused him to eventually give in. He spent a year looking for a buyer on the black market. Word is, selling human organs is illegal in India, as I imagine it is in most other places. The husband finally found someone interested in buying his lightly used man kidney. He finally found a buyer about 3 months ago, and it was on. Dude went through with the process of having the kidney hauled.
Old bit we used to have on the show. I know women better shape than I am. Sure, her kidney would be worth quite a bit more.
Yeah, most definitely, because she takes all those potions and stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She's a necromancer, and she creates potions and does that instead of food.
Scar on his back. But he was handed over $11,000 in cash money for that juicy, healthy kidney. All right, so here's where you ought to put on your choppers and your stocking cap, because it's going to get awful cold around here. Dude gave the kidney money to his wife. You happy now, he said. She said, yes. Yes, I am. And then she took that money, ran off, and got married to another man.
That's messed up. I bet that guy's got 2 kidneys.
No, he's got 3 now, actually. Yeah. Nick, you've said many, many times you appreciate a good scam.
Yeah.
What do you think of this one?
Pretty cold.
Too much? Or do you still kind of have an appreciation for it?
It's too much. Too much to take someone's organ, which is basically what she did. She might as well have reached in there herself and plucked it out and then ran with it like a running back in a friggin' football game. Too much, Cubby. She took that money and went off and married another man. The husband, with the scar still fresh, was left in the dust, suckered into effing black market organ trading by the woman he loved.
He made quite the sacrifice for her.
You see, some time ago, his wife met a man on Facebook.
That's how it starts.
Isn't today the anniversary of Facebook?
I don't know.
Oh, really?
21 years today, I believe.
It's been that long?
Wow. I actually thought it was longer.
Yeah, same here.
she met a man on Facebook. And they hooked up. And they bumped. And it was real good.
Must have been.
His wife decided she should abandon her family and move in with her new rock-hard lover. But first, she needed some running away with her new lover money. So that was her scam. The heartbroken husband, sorry bastard that he is, he still wanted to give his bitch wife a chance to make things right. The local police tracked her down after she ran away with that 11 grand. They tracked her down. She was all shacked up with her new well-hung F-piece boyfriend, Donnie. He drives an F-350 Super Duty, Josh.
Wow.
Always wanted one.
He wears a lot of Under Armour clothing and he listens to nothing but Godsmack.
No, we've got somebody here who's got one of those Super Duties. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I love that thing. It's huge.
Husband still wants to give this lady a chance.
How, the guy, obviously, this Donnie gentleman you're referring to, the paramour?
Under Armour.
Obviously a douchebag, but there has to be a little bit of pride that you humped her so good, you humped her husband's kidney right out of him.
You're right.
Yeah, that's got to be satisfying.
So, the husband and their 10-year-old daughter and his parents all went to confront the wife and ask her to come back home, skis. She said, straight to their faces, "You folks do what you want. I'll be sending a divorce letter." And she gone.
Got lowballed for his kidney, too.
I was just thinking that, Ashley. I feel like $11K is a little short for a kidney. I think you should get more than that.
In India, they say it's about $20,000, but if you really want to get a bang for your buck, if you go to Israel, it's $160,000.
Okay, so the guy or she got boned on the price. I just love isn't the word. I'm fascinated by this woman and her killer instinct and her cold-blooded nature. Not only does she look into the eyes of her husband and her husband's parents, but her own 10-year-old daughter after all this and said...
Forgot about that.
And she said, bye-bye. Donnie and I got a Godsmack cover band to see tonight at the local beer hall.
Well, the daughter's probably going to get into a good college anyway, because this college essay is going to be fantastic.
Well, no, she can't go to college because she doesn't have the kidney.
They don't have the money.
She's going to get all the scholarships, though, from her amazing college essay that she submits.
Oh, she'll get a scholarship writing the story of her life.
Yeah.
Big Donnie, they call him. No word on where the husband's kidney ended up. Hopefully, hopefully it went to someone who really needed it.
Fed it to a dog.
If there's a silver lining.
Oh, Josh, can you believe?
No.